Do you need some time to get everything set up, or are you
No, I should
groovy?
be pretty good. I will say, unfortunately, we got like 2 uses out of the music bot, and then YouTube sent them a cease and desist, so they
Are
have
you fucking kidding?
removed their servers. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but
There's another one that we've been using called what's it called? We've renamed it. Fred
all
Folk.
right. Oh, I invited that one to one of my servers with just people I know in real life. I haven't used it yet though. That one works pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
It's not as good as Rhythm, but
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good one to keep in mind for the future then.
Maybe I'll have to pull up my own spooky music then.
Hey, I invite you all to do so. If I can't scare you, it's now mandatory that you scare yourselves
I gotta see.
to have a good time.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna. You know what? I'm probably not gonna have anything that's fitting. You know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do.
Just look up Alien soundtrack.
Yeah, I could. I think what I'm gonna do is this is kind of dumb, but kind of funny. I'm going to pull up my Oblivion dungeon folder.
Damn skeletons.
Yep. That's better than nothing. It won't be exactly sci-fi, but
That's close enough.
Let's see, data.
I mean, when you start
music.
getting into like, robots and shit, technically there's some sci-fi in there. That counts, right?
Yeah, counts.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, it's now canon in Rusted Orbit that Pelinal is somewhere.
He's out there. He's out there.
Rayman! He's just out in the void, yelling it.
Okay. Do we want to? Does anybody need to do anything else before we get started? Do we want our resident recapper to give us a fantastic recap?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
I can if you want.
Up to you,
Well,
folks.
Let's just recap part 2.
yeah, I was not about.
Okay,
to
I just wanted to make sure. Just want to make sure. I mean, we do have 3 hours, but
unless exclusively asked. Well, last time, after realizing that we have extremely bad decision making when it comes to food, and going through a horrendous experience in the kitchen, we decided to leave the kitchen and their weird robot behind and go explore the rest of the station. We got to the emergency station corridors and decided to go down the passage to the left, I believe it was, to go down one of the rings and see. Oh no, go towards one of the rings and see if we could reach the rings from there. Upon reaching the end of the corridor, we find the trolley system that will take us from the corridor to the ring that's closest to our relative position. There, we find it that is locked, and a pooling blood is emerging from the bottom of the floor of the door. Uh, then Larry decides that it would be helpful if he opens the door so that they can explore what could have possibly left that much congealed blood with quotations, since we didn't know how congealed blood looks like. When the door is opened, a huge pile of bodies falls down upon the blood pool, and we bear witness to a massacre within. from either gunshots or scratches, it is evident that these people did not die a very peaceful death. But there is no clear definition of what caused the deaths. Further on ahead, we see that the trolley is out in space, about quarter of the way in its possible track, and that there is a possible occupant within the trolley as well. It is then decided by the group to recall the trolley so that we can both see what's in the trolley and get to the other side. When we open it, when we recall it, we find that it is another dead body, and I don't recall, was the body shot, or were they just dead?
I think that we determined it was a self-inflicted gunshot. I think this
Right,
is the
that's
body
what
in
it
the tram, the trolley, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after being out there in space, the conclusion was that they decided to shoot themselves rather than die of starvation.
Mhm.
The group then, after scrounging the bodies for clues and items of worth, get inside the trolley and operate it to go to the other side. During this, it becomes evident to the rest of the group that Larry has no idea how to use a gun and is attempting to reload it with the assistance of his friend Jonny. And once everybody's there is prepared, they open the trolley doors to the other side that is connected to the ring on a rotating platform. Once they're there, they notice that there is a map of the station to the right side that is tracking their relative progression through the station so far after examining it. So, upon seeing this, Billie decides it is worth taking a test to see if somehow the station itself is tracking them. And by themselves, they decide to exit the room while Jonny and Larry stay within to watch the map. The ever brave Billie progresses down the corridor a good ways until they are not able to be seen by the duo in the room anymore, and suddenly hear something scratch the floor behind them. They turn, but they see nothing. Billie completely freaks out and rushes back to the duo in the room. But nothing was seen in the entire in the interim by Billie on the way back, and they try to figure out what's going on because apparently there's something there, but not there. And looking at the map, the tracking system, whatever it is, only progressed half the distance of what Billie traveled. So they come to the conclusion that it is a an average of the group's distance traveled, not just one of them. So upon figuring that out and having no interest in testing the system any further by themselves, they all leave as a group and continue on forward. They decide to take the left path on the T's junction, if I recall
Pretty
correctly,
sure, yeah.
and travel down the left path in an attempt to find the A block of the station that they found clues for in the first session. But they can't find any markers along the hallways to indicate where they are. So, just as they are about to come to the next room available to explore within to find clues as to where they are, they hear another noise. Well, I say they, but Larry hears nothing. And Jonny thinks he hears something, but Billie definitely heard it and shoots his gun into the ceiling of the corridor.
Specifically because he heard it from the ceiling, not like...
Yeah.
It's not like he heard a sound at his feet and was like, I'm going to shoot the ceiling!
Yeah. So, upon shooting, he deafens the entire corridor and it drops dead silent for a few seconds. And afterwards, we can hear a whine and the scattering of feet running away from the group. So something is there. And upon closing the session, the group decides to try to enter a room to find some more clues.
Yeah. So that was a very good recap. Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Just checking. I don't remember that we found anything that confirms which ring we're in, right?
I think we're just the closest one from where
Yeah.
we landed.
But we haven't found any
Yeah,
markings.
you
or
guys could
anything.
see while you were on the ferry out like the windows of the shuttle that you were only going to the first one. The one closest to like the tail end of the station, if you will.
Right. The reason I ask is because the emergency station that we found to the very first session mentioned that survivors were trying to head for Sector A in ring blank. We don't know what the ring was. And I was just trying to remember if we had seen any markings that indicated what sector of this ring we're in or what ring we're in, but we haven't yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, we haven't seen any signs yet. So as I recall, we were just outside the door, about to open it.
Yes, I believe that's the case.
Larry's taking his usual position off to the side behind one of his
Alright.
friends, and he'll probably not feel brave enough after what just happened to pull out his gun, so he'll stick to his wrench.
Alright.
I am also taking up a kind of a flanking position on the side of the door, but I'm just thinking to myself, do we know how many hours roughly we've been on the station since we docked?
You guys would be able to tell just from like, it's probably something on your device you have.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's
far.
probably
Okay.
10 minutes ahead of whatever my watch is saying.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you guys have been here for about 3 hours or so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just between like wandering around, waiting for the cafeteria, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering if we needed, if we were getting hungry or thirsty yet, but 3 hours. Okay.
No, despite the food you've encountered so far, you guys are all pretty refreshed in that regard.
Okay. Cool.
I found a picture.
Yes.
There we go. Let's
Johnny
go.
Washy.
Hell yeah. That looks like a dude who's gonna kick some ass.
No shit. I want to
Right?
follow that guy.
Just make sure that there's no blood anywhere near him.
Alright, so you guys are stood outside this door. Some of you have armed yourselves. I assume someone goes and presses the tablet to open the door, yeah?
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay. Billie, you walk up, you press down on the tablet, it glows green like the rest of them do, and slowly these large double doors slide open to reveal a scene that is probably just as unfortunate as most of the others you've seen. It looks like some kind of scientific room. You can tell immediately because there's light inside, but not from, actual lights, but from a handful of computer monitors that are all still lit and glowing. And really, the only thing it illuminates in this room is walls and ceiling and floor coated in old, definitely at this point, like dried blood. Excuse me. My voice is a little shaky lately.
That's what we get for having a 13-year-old DM.
Hey, man, hey. So yeah, you see these computer monitors, all of them lighting up in, dim green lights on walls of this, like, dark brown color. You get hit with this, like, wave of light iron smell.
Okay. And I'm trying to paint a picture in my head of the room. You said there's computer terminals, green monitors, blood all over the walls and floors? Just
Yeah.
splattered everywhere.
On the floor, it looks like it's, pulled up. On the walls, it looks like someone has taken, like, their hands or rags and just rubbed it everywhere.
Ugh.
It looks like paintbrush strokes, but obviously, much bigger.
Yeah.
You see immediately in front of you is, like, a island-looking thing, like a kitchen island, a standing table island thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the computer monitors are on. There's, enough space between the door and there for like 3 people to stand, and then on the other side of it, another 3 people could stand, and then on the back wall opposite the door is more counters, and above it, like cupboards and stuff.
Okay. Any markings in the room indicating where, like, is this a laboratory? Is this some kind of control room?
None that you can see. Seems pretty in line with the lack of signage so far.
From your description, I can assume that no bodies can be seen immediately, right?
No, not from the doorway you guys are in. You can't see any yet. Perhaps there are some inside, though.
Hey, Johnny, you're our resident grit expert, right? Like, you're the toughest motherfucker we got in this group.
Unfortunately.
I'm just thinking that we've had 2 separate experiences now crossing a threshold in this station where we are instantly bombarded with that weird pressure sound issue. Wait, I'm trying to remember last time that we had that. It was Johnny Johnny's ears started bleeding, right?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Okay.
Time.
Never mind. That's going to be a tough argument to. That's going to be a tough persuasion check right there.
Well, out of character, I would say that it would be easier for you to convince Larry to do it, since he hasn't gone through the same symptoms as you 2.
Oh, hey, Larry.
That's true.
Larry, we need a guinea pig to make sure that this room isn't going to fuck us up.
What do you mean by guinea pig?
I mean, just step into the room first, and if the weird pressure sound thing happens, just jump right back out of it. Like, don't even go too far into the room, but just so that we know whether we... Because we've gone into rooms where it's not happened, and corridors where it's not happened, but it seems like randomly we'll just have it happen, and I don't... Given how bad Johnny had it last time, I think if something like that were to happen to us, we could end up, passed out on the floor and fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been experiencing the stuff you guys have. Maybe I'm just immune.
Hey, that could be. I was gonna say, do you want to
just keep an eye out on?
If you don't like being the only one that can do this, we could set up a rotation going forward. Like, you could do the first one, I could do the next one, Johnny could do the third. We just rotate through when we enter a new room. Being the guinea pig.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right, just keep an eye out for me, bud.
Yep.
I crouched down a little, and I had my wrench handy, and I take a step into the room.
Okay. As you crouch down, would you like to make any sort of stealth check, or is that just to, like,
That's just
keep
like
your head out of firing line?
Yeah, keep my head out of firing line.
Okay. You hunt yourself down a little bit and take a few steps into this room. As you do, the dried blood, flakes under your boot like paint. And you can see almost immediately to your left, like barely 2 steps away, is the third wall of this room. It's right there. But as you turn to your right, it goes down a good like 30, 40 feet or so. And at the end of it, you can see, along with many of the same like computers and monitors and wires, are these 2 large like tubes. They span, from the ceiling to the floor. And they're about like arm span wide or so.
How are you
And
feeling, bro?
I feel a little nauseous about the situation of this room, but I don't experience anything weird.
Okay.
Are the tubes opaque or translucent?
They are opaque. They're painted over with
Or I meant transparent.
perhaps the no, they're opaque. They're painted over with like some of the usual, just sort of slate gray of the room, along with some of the only like actual signage you've seen here so far. They are labeled very simply 1 on the left and 2 on the right, in like this
Okay.
big, yellow paint.
And on the left side, looking at the tubes, there's just more computers, right?
Yeah, on either side of both of them.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, really quick. I was gonna say if Larry is feeling all right, I think Billy will walk inside the room. But given that he's still a little spooked about hearing the sounds he did in the corridor and firing his weapon and apparently hitting something, I think while Jonny and Larry explore this room, Billy's gonna stay right next to the door and keep an eye out into the corridor just to make sure that nobody comes up behind.
Okay.
Okay. Since Billy's just gonna come in, I'll forgo saying what I see, and I just start going towards the tubes.
All right. And Jonny, you're entering this room as well, or are you gonna
Yeah,
stay?
I'll enter if Billy's not having any effects from going into the room.
All right. Yeah. So far, none of you guys have felt anything on entrance.
Hey, Johnny, why don't you go ahead and see if you can find anything or over on the monitors on the aisle over there. I'll
Alright.
go check out these tubes.
Sounds good.
All right. As Larry is walking down to the other end of this room, Jonny, you go and just look at like the nearest bunch of computers and monitors. And even though you walk up to the monitors and they're right there, and they're what you're going to look at, the thing that catches your eye first is this little like miniature model sat like right over the keyboard of this area of computers. And it does not take long for you to look at it to tell that it is a replica of your ship, or whoever of you owns the ship you guys arrived on.
This is fucking terrifying.
Right.
I'm a little creeped out too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do
don't know
you
what
do
to
anything?
I mean, you're the one that saw it.
Yeah.
Do you stop your approach? Do you walk over to it and like pick it
Yeah.
up to examine it?
No, I'll stop and I'll call out to the other guys and say, we've got the model of our ship over here. Do you guys want to come look at this?
Oh, not another thing.
Yeah, it's another thing. Billy's gonna stay by the door. I mean, he's flabbergasted and perplexed by this, but he's not. He's very, very not gonna leave the door right now.
Okay. From where you are, it is close enough that you can see it just by like, looking
Yeah.
over your shoulder.
Yeah.
If you wanted to take a look at all, or if you just keep looking back up and down the hallway.
I think I'm kind of half glancing into the room, half looking up and down the hallway at intervals.
Okay. Larry, what about you? Are you going to come back and look at this, or are you going to keep moving to the tube?
I'm a little conflicted. Like I want to do something stupid so it's funny, but
That's an important part of this
It
whole
is,
ordeal, I think.
It is, yeah. If it's in
All right.
character, go for it, man.
all right, I turn around and warily go around Johnny, take a close look at the pilot window, the cabin window, and I check for any poop stains inside.
Man, it is fetid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can tell it's obviously all paint. None of it is actual anything, but the rest of the ship is like this crisp, gray. Some parts that are like labeled for, your job for maintenance stuff are painted in like yellow or red or orange, so they stand out. But the entire interior of the cockpit is just like molded out of brown plastic, and there's little garbage bags with bottles in it, half empty, half full of whatever liquid. Some of them almost certainly piss.
Well, yeah.
It's like a
definitely
true
our
gamer's
ship.
den in there.
Yeah.
This is definitely our ship.
Yeah. Oh.
What's the scale of this model? Like, are we talking like it would be too large to pick up and carry, or it's like a Lego size spaceship model?
I'd say the ship itself you could lift with like 2 hands.
Okay.
Pretty handily.
Like in Mass Effect, where you got to collect all the model ships
Yeah.
and show them in your quarters.
From the door, Billie calls out, "What is it made of? Like, is it assembled? Is it like 3D printed? Like, what is it? Can you guys tell?"
Yeah, the two of you who were there. It looks like it was It looks like a model you would buy nowadays for like Star Wars or something. It's made of like pretty clean plastic. There's no mold lines on it, from what you can see.
It just looks like plastic to me.
Have you guys seen the Earth movie Solaris?
No.
I've seen commercials for it.
Okay, have you seen the Earth movie Event Horizon?
Yes.
Do you remember in Event Horizon how the ship starts creating like figments,
yes.
like imaginary figments for them to experience?
Yeah, I've been saying this shit.
Is the station doing that to us?
I've been saying the same shit. Like I've been getting those vibes since the first session. So
How can the station have a model of our ship complete with our own customizations? Who did any of you motherfuckers know anybody that worked on this station? This is the first time you heard of this, right? We've all heard. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a space station out this far. Well, now that Larry's satisfied his morbid curiosity of whether it's the real ship or not, he'll leave Johnny to his original task and go back towards the tubes.
Okay. You start making your way. Johnny, do you start actually looking at the computers now, or are you still looking at the ship, or do you go off and
Yeah, I'm
do
gonna
something
look at the computers now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky with the ship.
All right. You set the ship aside so you can get down and actually turn the monitors that are off out of sleep mode and all that. And you are bombarded on every screen with all these like stats.
Are these like old, like like 1980s style like terminal computers, or are these like more
Yeah.
modern looking? Yeah.
No, they're old.
Like old CRT monitors and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, on each and every one of them, there are like graphs, stats, scatter plots, a few like renderings of what looks like a strand of DNA.
Oh yeah.
Do you think Johnny would have any like ability to make these things out, or are they
Not
like just random
not really.
statistics to
It's
you?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It's not really a numbers kind of guy.
all right. Yeah, it's hard to tell what any of these stats were like tracking, or what field of science was this? Physics? Was this whatever else?
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
There's no more maps or anything.
No, not from what you see here.
Alright.
There are a couple other sections of computers if you want to like walk around this island or make your way down to the other end with Larry.
Yeah, I'll go turn on a couple of the other computers and see what they've got on them. But if it's more of the same, then I might need someone else to look at these to see if they can work out what's going on.
Okay, you walk around the other side of the table you're at currently, and indeed, all these monitors are showing pretty much the same stuff. Looks like different statistics, so it's not like literally, the same copies of things, but it is all more just math and science nonsense.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go wander over to Larry and see what he's up to with these tubes.
Okay. As you start making your way down, Larry, you have already obviously reached this end of the room. Like I said, there are these two large tubes sort of in the center of the wall, and on either side of them are more computers and monitors and all that.
Do I hear anything from the tubes?
How close do you get?
Just shy of putting my ear on it.
Okay, yeah, as you sort of lean in a little closer, you can hear like liquid bubbling in there. Not like boiling bubbling, but just every so often, like they're. I'm trying to think what to liken it to. I guess it's like if you've ever been above water while someone was under it and they're like, breathing out. It sounds like very steady, and then there's a handful of bubbles, and then it's steady again, and a handful of bubbles.
Mm-hmm. And you said that they were painted with yellow numbers, right?
Yep, the one on the left is labeled in a large number 1, and the one next to it in a large number 2.
Uh, I'll see if I can access the terminal on the left.
Okay, you walk over to it, you know, set it up, turn it on, it blinks to life. And you are also shown a whole bunch of random stats. The only thing that like is very clear to you out of all of it, unless you think Larry might have a handling on statistics and that sort of stuff.
I would say no. I mean,
Okay.
he's a ship engineer, not a scientist.
Yeah. All right. In that case, yeah, the only thing that really jumps out of you is in like the top right quarter of this screen, there is another rendering, not of DNA this time, but of this tube, this like chamber looking thing.
Okay. And is there any kind of label saying what's traveling through the tube?
No, the rendering itself seems like it is just of the empty tube, but if you look around at the rest of the like pages and graphs and stats and all, in the like lower left corner of every individual table or this or that is a number 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I'll check what Terminal 2 says then.
Okay. You walk over to it, and it is pretty much the same, except everywhere there would be a 1 seemingly labeling the stuff. It is a 2. Another,
And,
big rendering of the empty tube.
and it's all the same stats too, right?
Like I said to Harry, it's similar stats, but it isn't like copy and pasted. There are a few graphs that are like labeled the same, but then the actual numbers on them are different.
Okay. All right. Well, from what I can see, there's some kind of testing going on with the twos over here. I I don't know what they're testing, but it seems like there's some kind of fluid going through them.
Well, there was some some other numbers on those computers. I don't know what they were about. I don't know if it relates to this testing. I don't know if you're better at putting numbers together. If you'd be able to tell what it is or not. But,
I mean, if it looks like the stuff over here, then probably not.
yeah.
Is there like a way for me to see that there's a way to like stop the process of what's going on in the tubes, or no?
You can give me some kind of check to see if you can figure that out.
Uh, damn it. What
I
was
actually don't remember the command.
Oh,
man.
that is the command, but I think
that-
you need to be
that-
in the
that's-
dice box.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I think you're
You
correct.
also, you also need to put the D, like 2d10 in front of it instead of the
Oh, yeah.
20.
That's
we
an
go.
11 for acumen.
11. All right. You're able to sort of navigate through the stats pages and clear them away, and you get a sort of larger screen of that rendering of the tube. And there are a few different options. There are like 4 different options to, sort of boxes on the left with little dotted lines pointing at different places on them, and then 2 on the right doing the same. But only one of them is visible. The others have been like grayed out and are blank. And it says open. And it is pointing to what seems like the front of this tube.
Oh. Well, it looks like it can open the tubes.
Open it! I shout from the door.
Are you sure?
Open it!
I don't know what liquid's in there.
We need some answers. Open it.
I'm gonna take a step back.
While Johnny's stepping back, I just shrug and I open it.
Okay. You press the button, and very quickly, very loudly, the 2 doors of the tube, which seemed like they were so closely closed together that you couldn't even really see a seam unless you looked very closely, swing open and reveal a glass front to this tube, and in it is this like heavy yellow-green liquid which begins to drain out of the bottom of it through another, pipe and tube system that leads somewhere into the station. And then once that has drained all the way, the glass slides up very slowly, and there's a little bit of steam that is let out of the tube. The screen, very slowly clicks away, erasing the rendering and the buttons, and is replaced with large text that says, "Printing failed. Error QMY8V. Would you like to attempt the same strand again, or enter new instructions?"
Can we see what's inside the tube?
It is empty now that the liquid has drained. There's like a little bit of, wet residue on the inside of it if you wanted to inspect that.
What's in it? What's in the tube?
There's nothing in there.
You
What was
guys
it?
all hear this very faint echo of Billie's voice as it just runs its path around the station.
Oh,
It was a yellow and green liquid.
and it drained out.
Yeah, it all drained out.
Nothing else, huh?
Yeah, well, the computer's saying that whatever it was failed.
They're trying to make some Mountain Dew, obviously.
And this was only test tube 2, right?
Yep.
Alright.
Test tube label number 1 is still sealed.
Well, we can check what's in test tube 1 if you want.
You're asking me?
Yeah,
do it.
I don't know what's in there though.
Do it.
I shuffle around the whatever liquid made it onto the floor and get to monitor 1.
Okay. As you hunch over this next set of computers, Billie, you hear distantly but loudly the very identifiable sound of metal smacking metal, and then you hear 3 more of the same sound but much quieter.
And this is.
It comes from. Okay.
No, I was gonna say, what direction is this coming from?
From your perspective, right, back down the direction you guys have come so far.
Would I recognize it as like hatches closing or just metal smacking metal? You said.
Yeah, it's hard to tell past that. It sounds like, I don't know, if you had like a metal hammer and you threw it on a metal table, like 2 flat sides of something colliding.
Mm-hmm. And my companions can't hear this from where they are over at the tubes?
You sort of lean into the room and look at them, and they are still at these computers, so no, they have not.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything to them. I'm just going to poke my head out into the hallway, step out into the hallway, and take a few steps down the hallway in the direction of the sound.
You brave motherfucker.
I just want to see if I can hear anything or in the whatever level of light I'm dealing with, if I can make anything out.
All right. You've got what kind of lighting do you have? Do you have a lantern as well, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You step out just a little bit and look down the corridor, and from where you are, your lantern doesn't shine far enough to illuminate anything different in this hallway than how it was just, a few minutes ago.
Okay. I want to look specifically up at the ceiling. Is there anything different about the ceiling?
How far are you gonna walk? You look up, right around the doorway, and it is all the same in this, 10, 20 feet in either direction that the lantern can illuminate.
Okay. How far down is the next
brightly.
doorway? Can I see it from where I am?
Yeah, it's also about 20, 30 feet or so away from you.
Okay. I want to walk down to the next doorway, and just that'll be my landmark for stopping without getting too far from the room.
Okay.
That's going to be how far I'm going to go to see if I can figure out what that sound was or what made it.
All right. You make it from the doorway you're in front of currently to the one you're looking at the edge of your light. And when you get there, you do see now something different in the hallway. About halfway from this doorway you've walked to the next one down, there is a ventilation thingy that has dropped from the ceiling to the floor. Can't think of the word I'm looking for. Like the screen, I guess.
Grate.
Is the closest. Grate. Thank you. Yes, exactly. There's a grate that has dropped from the ceiling.
Is it blocking the entire corridor, or it's just?
No, it's like.
Oh, like a vent on the ceiling has swung open or something?
Yeah, I can see if I can pull up like a picture for you. Yeah, here we go. I just saw it. There we go.
I got fucking Goosebumps.
One of these.
Okay, yeah. Pops down
It's
from the
like-
ceiling.
Yeah. Like I said, it's like about 2 feet in both dimensions,
Okay.
and it is laid directly, flat on the ground. From you can see the now open vent on the ceiling as well. You look up, and it's just, your lantern can illuminate the ceiling from where you're standing, but then there's just this square of black that seems to seep endlessly into the station.
Okay. I'm going to walk right to underneath the open grate and shine my light directly up into it and see if I can make anything out.
Billy is
Okay.
just something else, man.
Don't die, mate.
You walk the few more steps to stand on top of this grate. You hold your lantern a little higher to illuminate up in there, and you can see the vent goes up a little bit and then turns and, rockets down this way and that. And you don't see anything, you don't hear anything, except after, a second or two of looking, what sounds very much like footsteps even further down the corridor in the same direction you've been going this far.
Okay. But actually in the corridor, not in the ceiling.
Yeah, at the same level as you now. You're like two, very soft, muffled footsteps on metal, and then a third one, and there's like a crunch of something, and then it stops.
And there's no like blood marks or footprints or anything on the floor that I can see from where I am.
No, around the grate, there's like, a little blanket of dust that came with it when it fell.
Okay.
But no, definitely no blood. No footprints in the dust that you can see.
Yeah. All right, just some out
Although
of
you can
character.
examine closer if you wanted.
No, that's okay. I don't think I'm going to be that cautious about it. Just some out of character information here to my companions. This is incredibly unwise, I recognize, but I'm going to go further down the corridor, and I am not calling out to you to tell you where I am or what I'm doing.
No. I already figured that.
Yeah.
Ever since you walked out of the room.
As far as you guys know, I'm still at the doorway. If you haven't
Yeah.
looked back that way.
Yeah, the two of them are at these computers.
Okay, without any effort at sneaking or anything, I'm going to literally charge down the hallway toward the sound that I just heard.
Okay. It didn't sound that far away. It sounded like it was maybe in this next room or one over.
Yeah. Yep, that's where I'm going.
And do you still have your revolver out, or are you just going at this with your lantern in front of you?
Lantern in one hand, revolver in the other, kind of pointed at the ground.
Okay. You sort of fast walk your way to this next door and just tap the tablet to open it, and it comes open. And your lantern is the only light in this next room. You listen in, and all you can really hear from the doorway is the very faint, like, just natural airflow of this place. It smells old, like most of this place has. Like, there's just this immediate breath in of dust. Alright.
Oh, Johnny's stepping away well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you, just barely are entering this room, if you do enter it, or if you're just at the doorway here, you can smell, like this thick old dust smell. And as you sort of peek in or enter, you can see, unlike the previous room so far, where all the dust has been settled, it seems like it has been stirred in here.
Okay. Would you say that I'm fairly confident that this is the room that whatever made that sound retreated into?
From the sound you heard, it was definitely this one or the next.
Okay.
Anything further than that, I will leave to your judgment.
Okay. All right. Pistol at the ready. I am stepping into the room and sweeping my lantern from far left corner to far right corner.
Okay.
Are there any obstructions between me? Like, can I see the entire room from where I am, or are there walls or half walls or desks or anything that are impeding?
Yeah, there are desks, so you can like just barely not see the very bottom of like the floor,
Okay.
but you can see from, wall to wall in here.
Okay.
If something was directly behind the desk, you wouldn't be able to see it. But
Okay.
other than that,
All
you can
right.
see the whole room.
So I want to slowly move toward the corner to my left, not the far left, but the near left corner. I'm going to keep my back to the corridor wall, and I'm kind of as I move to the left, I'm poking my head around whatever desks I can, the nearby desks, to try to see if there's something behind any of them.
Okay. You do that first initial sweep with your lantern, and there's nobody in here that you can see immediately. And so you start very, slowly walking down, checking behind these desks as you go, like you said. And I don't know how on edge Billy is,
Pretty fucking on
but
edge.
on like almost the final desk, like the second to last desk in this row, as you peek, you are greeted with a head, like directly in front of you, leaned over from behind this desk as well. Would you say you're like jumpy enough to just fucking shoot or do anything, or?
I think I probably go, "Oh fuck!" And then
Okay.
does the head respond to that? Is this attached to anything, or is it just on the floor?
No, yeah, it's got a whole ass person there.
Okay.
As you fucking recoil or anything, your entire body jumps into nerves. But after that initial reaction, you see it is a skeleton. There is no life in this left. Just empty eye socket staring at you for a second.
Yeah.
Made you jump from your skin.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck, Max.
All right.
Jesus.
Can I keep moving along the left wall, the same way
Yes,
that I
you can.
was, my back to the wall, and keep checking rows of desks as I move toward the back of the room from the entrance?
Yes, you can. As you make your way from this skeleton finally to this corner you're heading towards, and then start, back against the next wall doing the same thing, you step on something that again just gives you nerves. It's this immediate, like, harsh sound of metal grinding as you plant your foot down. You look and you see there is a smaller vent about same like width as the one you saw outside this room, but half the height has been unscrewed and dropped from a vent that enters this room at the bottom at your feet.
At the bottom of the wall, or on
Yep.
or on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes in, at the wall.
Okay, so the grate is on the floor, but the vent opening is at the bottom of the wall. Okay. And is it clear from dust disturbance or anything that whatever it is that I'm pursuing came to this vent from the door?
You can give me a check,
Okay.
please.
I'm gonna say between like me walking into the room and possibly disturbing the dust myself, this is gonna be a precision check, I guess.
That makes sense.
Man, that head thing. That's crazy.
My result is 12.
All right. You kneel down here, Billy, to get a good look in this dust to see if there's anything. And with a 12, you do indeed see, aside from your own shoe or boot prints or whatever you wear, there are these prints in the dust that look like, sneakers, like running shoes, that you're able to see come in the same basic path you took along this wall, and they stop here at this grate, and then around the grate, there is like basically no dust, like it has been cleared away.
All right, I want to get down on my knees and point the flashlight into the vent, and assuming that I don't see anything right when I point it into the vent, I'm going to stick my head in there and try to judge which direction the vent goes in and whether I can see anything shining my light in that direction.
Okay. I like a confusion saving throw, please.
Oh, fuck. All right, so this is another 2d10, right?
Yep, 2d10 plus, in this situation, I would say really any of your scores would work.
Okay.
And then you've got to beat whatever number is written alongside your class.
That's a 16 for me, so this doesn't bode well. I'm going to say it's probably my... Oh, this is confusion, right? God, I don't know.
I would say it
Since
takes
you're already
some
using
real
precision,
grit.
that would fit pretty good.
I was thinking grit
roll.
too, but yeah, if I've already used precision right here, maybe that makes the most sense. Okay, that's what I'll do. Precision.
All right.
9. Ah, fuck. Fail. Mark it down as on my list of failed saves.
You got to 5 yet?
I'm on 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As you turn from looking at the floor to looking at this grate, you go to shine your lantern here, and immediately you see, without even the need of the light shining into the vent, is a person. And you can tell this because their arm shoots out from the vent and just grabs at your face.
Oh my god.
Have
We're
they...
gonna do a combat now, my friend.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
First combat of the campaign.
All right.
Nice.
That's not what I was imagining was entering the first combat of the campaign solo, but okay.
I'll say this: the
I believe
funniest
in you,
part
Billie.
about all of this is it's a solo thing. Because I doubt we can reach him in time if we even hear it.
No.
Yeah.
The funniest part about it, though, is this is the guy with the lowest HP.
Okay, so given that this arm has reached out and grabbed at my face, am I being held currently, or was that like a grab at my face and I jump back and like shout? Like, could I have shouted or?
Yeah, for sure. It didn't like get a solid grip on you, and it hasn't like, palmed your face like a basketball.
Right.
It's like grabbed at the side of your face, and it's clawing at like your cheek and your ear.
Okay. Yeah, just before
So you can see, you can hear, you can speak for sure.
Okay, just before we actually start the combat, I think I'm recognizing that I'm probably far enough away and have turned enough corners that they're not going to hear any specific words that I'm saying. I think I'm calling out like help or something, like calling Johnny's name or Larry's name.
Okay. Well, seeing as your class is pilot, one of your abilities is that you always go first in combat. Yeah. Even when the enemies get the drop on you. So ordinarily, if you were surprised like this, you would miss out in the first round. But since you are such a badass, not only do you still get to go, you get to go before anything else fucking happens. So are you going to do that? Are you going to yell out?
So
this game doesn't exactly use actions like 5e does. So
yeah,
if you chain together enough small things, that is totally fine. So you can yell and pull back, or yell and try and swing at this, and that'll all be.
I think I'm gonna yell, and I think my first instinct wouldn't be to shoot at it. It would just be probably swing my pistol at it, like just as a get the fuck away from me kind of motion,
All right. I think we've been over this before, but your revolver is not like some huge hand cannon-y thing, right?
No. More like a snub nose, like 38 kind of thing.
Okay.
Probably weighs like 6-8 ounces, maybe.
Go ahead and give me an attack then. You roll 2d10 plus whatever score you're going to use here. I rolled 2d10 plus the same. Well, not the same, but also plus a score.
Yeah. I'm gonna use precision. And
right.
I rolled an 8. Oh god damn it.
Dang. Beat you by 1 with a 9. So you
Mhm.
yell out as loud as you can and swing with the butt of your pistol all at once. You land on the arm as it's grabbing you, but there's not enough force in your scared quick reaction to knock this thing off of you or really seem to hurt it at all.
Mhm.
And since you go first, let's go ahead and roll initiative now as well. So you're going to go ahead and roll 1d10 plus, again, whatever score you think would fit. Again, we'll do the same.
11.
And with an 11, the goddamn speedy pilot gets to go again.
Hell yeah. I may not be effective, but I can be ineffective really often.
Faster. And as you take your second turn here, Larry and Jonny, I would like both of y'alls to make some kind of check to see if you can hear that yell. We'll go ahead and say advantage for both of you because it's quiet on your end of the station. So even if you don't hear exactly the yell, you'll hear perhaps like an echo or something.
I'll go with my communication.
All right.
Oh, and I have
Makes sense. Yelling is communication.
Oh, it was a 3d10, right?
Yeah, drop
Yeah,
the
you have
lowest,
advantage.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
I
got
got
a
a
14.
15.
All right. The both of you then definitely hear, obviously, Billie yelling. Billie, would you say it's like it's not like an, oh god, I'm injured yell, right?
No, I think it was more like just a really staccato help.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys both hear definitively Billie's voice. You both turn towards the door and you see they are gone from the doorway. And it comes down the hallway from the direction the three of you have already come from.
Well, here's my question.
Leave him. He
Your
made his
whole
choice.
adventure was secretly just to get rid of this literal shit stains.
Right?
It was actually you guys running the station the entire time just to try to scare me up.
My question is, how long would all this take for Billy's little escapade?
Yeah, like 5 or 10 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes? Do you want to go over what we did before we react to that, or no?
I was imagining most of that 5 or 10 minutes was sort of parallel to what you guys were doing. So, like, right after he yelled to you guys to open the first tube, he started walking off. And so, the time for that tube to open and drain and all that was sort of alongside Billie first hearing these noises.
Yeah, that's accurate, I'd say.
Okay. So
probably like right as you guys are going through the process of clearing away all these stats is when you hear the noise. So you haven't gotten a chance to fully open the tube yet.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure on. I look at Jonny and start heading towards the noise of the scream.
All right.
Yeah. Get my gun out at the ready and make my way down there too.
Okay. Two of you get your stuff back on you. You start making your way towards the exit, but Pem, before they get here, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got this hand still clawing at your face, scratching into the side of you. You can feel it's drawing blood, but not nearly enough to actually cause you really any damage.
Okay.
And from the position you're in right now, you really can't see anything more than this arm. Like, you can see basically up to the shoulder is popping out of this vent, and it seems like the vent goes vertical almost immediately, so you can't see, the rest of this person.
Yeah. So it seems like the rest of their body is in the wall, and they're just sticking their arm out at me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, my swing with my pistol being ineffective, I think I at this point would just probably open up and fire around
Okay.
and just try to.
Are you going to shoot at this arm specifically, or just like sort of into the vent where you think this person is?
I think into the no, probably specifically at the. Well, no. Okay, hang on. The hand actually still is in contact with my face, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm.
Still clawing at you.
I've probably just in like a panic. I've dropped my lantern on the ground, and with both hands I'm just firing the pistol in the direction of where I think this person is inside the wall.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack then, my friend.
Fuck! God damn it. 8.
All right.
Oh,
13.
God.
As you have, further scrambled, you've dropped your lantern, as you said, and double hand your pistol. You throw a shot into the wall, and it seems like it just goes clean through. You don't hear anything. You don't see, any blood or nothing.
Okay.
The two of you running, though, you hear a loud, echoing gunshot about 2 doors down.
We head towards that door.
Yeah.
All right. And Pem, anything else you think you're gonna try in your turn, or was dropping the lantern and grabbing the pistol?
Yeah, that was my action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally now, trying to get a better grip on you. This hand is gonna try and like really claw into you. You can feel, like I said, it was scratching you on your cheek, on your ear, but only enough to like just a band-aid would fix it. But now it's creeping this thumb closer to your eye, and you can see like this long old nail is gonna try and scratch you up. It only got a 4.
Oh, dude, please beat a 4.
Thank God.
You're able to like pull your face away. Still not fully enough for it to let go of you, but enough that it's not at anything dangerous.
I've saved my eye.
And yeah, you're not going to be a pilot with an eye patch. It's a very important thing. And as we go into the second round now, you guys have, like I said, heard where this gunshot came in, so all of you guys can roll initiative, and you guys will be in this room imminently.
Do I need to roll again, or my initiative from earlier stages?
Yeah, we do initiative every round.
Okay. Oh, God damn it.
So if this
the command.
this hand had rolled very high, there's a chance it could have gone, twice in a row.
What is it that we roll for initiative? Sorry, or do we just
1d10 plus one of your scores.
All right.
Again, in combat, really any of your scores would fit. Caution, precision, kind of obviously you're just trying to be fast. Grit, you're charging your way into combat. Even communication, since you guys are trying to find where one of your teammates is.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll my grit because
Okay.
things like the way to go. Charging through
Looks
the door.
like. All right.
10, 9, and 8.
You're going first, Johnny.
All right.
So like I said, you've heard this single gunshot fire out after this scream. You've found the room it's in. The door is already open, and you can see just barely the light of Billie's lantern is shining against the wall, although from the doorway you can't see anyone or anything inside.
All right. I'll make my way over to the lantern then.
All right.
With my gun, armed and ready. Ready to shoot anyone who isn't Billie, pretty much.
Okay.
Would it be
fair thing to do?
Would it be reasonable? I'm willing to use this as my action when it's my actual turn, but I'm just thinking when they round the corner into the room and their lantern light falls on me, I think without even looking at them, I might just start to say it's in the wall, it's in the fucking wall, just to explain what it is that's happening to me in that moment.
Yeah, I don't even think that takes a turn. You can do that on other people's turns for sure. You can talk basically whenever in combat is how I tend to go. And on that note, Johnny, as you step in, do you still use your lantern when you've got your rifle, I assume, like in both hands, or does your gun have like a flashlight or something on it?
I thought the lanterns hooked onto like our belts. Is
Yeah,
that
they
not
do.
the case? Yeah.
Yep.
So
So you can
yeah,
definitely use it, but it's like a,
yeah,
it's only hooked on. It's a little swingy. If you like turn quickly, it doesn't turn perfectly
yeah,
with you. I was
yeah.
just
But
wondering.
yeah, I've just got it on the belt, so
Okay.
I don't have a torch light strapped on to the bottom of the gun or anything. So
All right. So then, as you step into this room, Johnny, you look straight towards Billy's lantern, and as you said, you approach it. And after just a few steps, you can see over these desks that are in this room, and you can see Billy is on the floor wrestling with something. And after just a few steps more, you can see he is wrestling with a like grown, thin human arm coming out of this vent. And you hear Billy yell, as Pem said, it's in the wall.
can
You've
I
got,
just see an arm, or can I see like the body the arm is attached to?
yeah, you can just see the arm. Even with
Okay.
both of your lanterns lit on this thing, the
Alright,
rest of this person is stuffed in such a way that
Yeah.
none of them is visible. And you've got, I was going to say, you've got obviously more than enough knowledge on weaponry and such. And you feel very confident that if you did shoot at this wall, it is not going to pierce, all the way through the space station. So
Alright.
it might pierce into the next room, but definitely not,
We're not gonna create
gonna
a
risk the
vacuum.
whole. Yeah,
Alright.
you
Yeah,
can see a bullet hole already from when Billy shot as well.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try and shoot into this this well, not the arm, but like where the arm's coming from, like into that vent.
Okay, so like sort of where the arm meets the torso, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So Johnny gets to roll 3d10, right, and take the best 2 in combat.
No, that's for the confusion save. Oh no.
It says during combat you take the best 2.
Yeah. You roll
Let's
3d10 when making a confusion save. During combat, you take the best 2. Out of combat, you take the worst 2.
Deal double
Yeah,
damage.
so when you're making confusion saves.
Yeah.
If you're not-
confusion saves in combat. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically what that's trying to do is like when you're in combat, when you are focused on a fight, as an officer, you're able to dedicate like 100% of your mind to that, and so you
Got it.
are harder to confuse. But outside of combat, you're just not as adept at like paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You do double damage though, so
Yeah.
hopefully you hit.
How much that damage is. And
I was actually about to ask you. This rifle, it's definitely, obviously, bigger than this revolver Billy has. Small arms do 1d6 damage. Heavy arms do 1d10. Which would you say your rifle is?
I'd say it'd still be, well, it's kind of like a medium one, I guess. Because when I think of it, I think like heavy arms would be something like a big gun. like
Yeah.
like a
God.
like a
TFG,
like a
motherfucker.
yeah like a big
Like yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're trying to say. Like a
Um,
standard, service rifle, like if this was the real world, like an M4 or whatever, would probably be closer to small arms because that's not some massive fuck off gun.
yeah.
But like a sniper rifle or something might be heavy arms.
Yeah. Like
But I will leave it to you.
Or like a big machine gun kind of. You gotta lie down on the
Yeah.
ground and go dugga with.
Yeah. I will leave it to you though. It is the
Yeah.
future. There are
Yeah.
big
I
fuck off
think-
weapons
I-
that you can hold
yeah.
in your hand.
Yeah. I think it's like a small one because I deal that double
Okay.
damage. Then it's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
you are still gonna rip through whatever you
Yeah.
hit. So here's hoping you hit for you
Yeah.
at least.
I'm gonna use precision to not shoot. I'm not very precise. Not
Okay.
shoot not shoot Billy.
Yeah.
Oh,
In-
thank
that
you.
makes sense.
Appreciate it.
in grappling. Oh
Beat you by one,
Do you have a
unfortunately.
-1 precision?
yeah.
Ouch. That's a bad thing for a police officer to have.
It does seem kind of par for the course.
I was gonna say that's probably your standard officer.
But Johnny, as you take in the situation, you let off a round or two into the vent where you think this thing should be. But much like with Billie, you don't hear any confirmation that you hit. You don't see any blood or anything. And this arm is still going for Billie. And I believe, Billie, you are next up. So you hear these two bullets whiz by you in this loud crack. And still this thing is clawing at you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for my action, I dropped my lantern. I have 2 hands on my service pistol at the moment. I want to, with my non-dominant hand, I'm gonna try to grab the arm that's attacking me. Like just grab it at the forearm or at the wrist or something. And while doing that, use my dominant hand to fire one-handed at where I think the body is inside the wall.
Okay. Are you just grabbing the hand as it's on you, or are you trying to pull it away from you?
I'm grabbing it, yeah, trying to pull it away from my face, and if I can, like, try to wrench it in, like, an uncomfortable direction. Like, whatever direction I think the body's in, like, I'm going to try to wrench it backwards,
Torque it around, okay.
Yeah.
You can tell from, how this thing is grabbing at you and from just looking at it that the person this is attached to is pretty malnourished. So I'll say you have advantage for the yanking.
Okay. Advantage for the yanking. Hell yeah.
And then another normal roll for
advantage for the spanking, though.
No.
Well, if you pull the whole person out, then we'll find that part.
So I know that there's...
So
Sorry, what was the command for keeping the highest 2? I forgot.
It's D1 at the end. We'll drop the lowest one.
Yeah.
Oh, D1.
So exclamation point R space 3D10. Do you do the plus or minus and then D1, or is the D1 first?
You do the plus or you do the modifiers and then you do the D1.
Okay.
16, motherfucker.
Yeah, with a 16, you're able to single arm grab this thing and like pin it up against the wall that this vent comes out from, and you can like hear the person in the vent, not like yell, but it is sort of breathing heavily as you twist this arm around.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now
you're good to go ahead and shoot it.
I'm gonna fucking shoot it.
Trying to get an 8 or well above an 8.
Whew, thank God.
14. There you go. With this one arm pinned and your other hand holding the gun, you press it up against the wall. Go ahead and roll your damage, my man.
Oh yeah. It's 1d6. Is that right?
Yes, it is. At 2. Shooting through the metal, it's hard to tell, what exactly part you strike, but you do definitely tell you hit something, because unlike when you grabbed the arm, when this bullet goes through the wall, you can hear a person yell. You can see the smoke from the shot slowly come out of the hole you've just put in the wall. And then at the bottom of the vent, you hear a few drops of blood starting to come already.
Okay. Has the bad guy's position changed at all? Like it's still holding itself inside of the vent and it hasn't like slouched to the floor or anything?
Yeah, how you've grabbed the arm, it's definitely pulled out of not all the way out of the vent, but like lower in it.
Okay.
And as you shoot, you can check if you'd like, but from the sort of position you're holding them in, you can't see quite yet.
Okay. No, I'll say that's the conclusion of my turn there.
All right, and then Tanom, you got the next highest, I believe, so it is your turn. Larry, you see all of this action take place kind of all at once. Jonny steps in before you and turns left into the room, starts making their way towards Billie's light. You can hear Billie yell, "It's in the wall," and then there's 2 shots, and then a whole bunch of like wrestling and grunts, and then another shot and a yell. What do you do, my friend? What does Larry do, I should say? I guess.
Larry will run around Johnny after he does his shot and go forward to where the fighting is going on.
All right.
And right now he can just see Billie wrestling with the arm, right?
Yeah, you see Billie has this arm, and from your position, you can see like the head of the person now sort of peeking out of this vent. From where you are, it looks like it's, upside down, like their hair is dropped down and is touching the floor. Billie is on their knees, holding this person's arm against the wall, and Jonny has just fired these, 2 rounds into the wall.
And is there anything specific that I see of the head?
Not really. You can see, like, I'd say basically nose up.
Okay.
You can barely make out these like sunken, empty eyes. The skin looks pretty wrinkled, I guess. Although the other 2 could have told that from the hand as well.
I'll take the haft of my wrench and I'll
All right.
try to knock him unconscious.
Okay. You run in past Jonny and sort of get down to make your swing towards this vent.
It's a hit.
And you're able to hit. Go ahead and roll. I will ask you now the same question. Is your wrench so massive and hefty that it is heavy arms damage or small arms damage? It is from the sound of it, big old blunt object. So if you want that to be heavy arms, I will not disagree.
I would say it's heavy, but considering that I'm trying to just knock him unconscious, I would go with a light damage.
Okay, that sounds fair. Yeah, since you're not actually hitting with like the head of the wrench.
Right.
So go ahead and roll 1d6. Fucking damn.
Wow.
I'm glad I wasn't going for the 1d10.
No kidding.
You guys hear the running footsteps of Larry finally entering the room, and there's just this swift, hard-sounding black, and then a lighter second one, and Pem, the arm you're holding, goes limp.
Sweet.
You hear, like the bang-bang of their body crumpling in the vent and just dropping to the floor. They are still breathing shallowly.
Yeah. So does that conclude combat then?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I think I'm probably just kind of fucking exhausted from the adrenaline rush and everything. I'm just gonna collapse against the wall and just kind of motion to Larry and Jonny to pull the body out of the vent if they can.
Before we do that, do we want to go ahead and take a break since it's halftime?
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, I was planning to take a quick 5-minute break. So.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
See you guys in 5 minutes then.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely exhausted. So hard.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, you only got, what, like 4 hours of sleep?
Yeah, 4 hours of interrupted sleep.
Haven't you had sleeping problems every session?
Oh, yeah. I have sleeping problems in general, but like normally not like last night. Grew up in Nelson, which is like at the top of the South Island, and I don't know if I'd go back there. It's nice in summer, but there's not a lot of stuff to do. Like,
Mm.
when it's not summertime, you can't go to like the beach or the river or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone else who's still there other than Mum. Like everyone else I know has
Moved on.
away from Nelson, so it's like, yeah, I don't have any friends there or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to live in Auckland. That's too big of a city, but it's not that big compared to some cities. But like, which is weird because I was thinking about before COVID and everything. I was thinking about going over to Australia to like Brisbane or Sydney, which is even massiver. But like, those cities run. You know, you can get everything you need in the city. Like in Auckland, you need a car.
Yeah.
And everything's just so spread out. There's this well, Wellington's got hills. There's like a massive hill right in the middle of like Auckland. And I was there for a concert. Start of last year before like all the COVID stuff
shit.
happened. And yeah, we're just walking. So we went to like this backpackers and stayed there. We walked to the concert venue, got our tickets, and then walked like over to this pub. And we look on a map, and it's like, it's only, it's like a KOA or something. It should be easy. But we've got to slog up this hill like in the middle of town. It's like,
Yeah, it sounds like walking in San Francisco or something.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just don't want to walk up like if I was living there, I'd have my motorbike or something. But it's just like, nah. For New Zealand, it's like too big, and it's just too spread out, and it's not. You don't have like a whole bunch of stuff like centrally. So it's like even if you want to go get something, you might have to drive like either like across the bridge, like the harbour bridge, to get to the other side, or whatever. And rent's even more expensive up there. So it's just like,
So it's not all hobbits and horse riding, and it's a difficult.
Unfortunately, no.
It's a difficult place to live.
It's just so expensive. Like, it's expensive to live in like the cities, like Auckland, Wellington. Christchurch was, but it's a bit cheaper, but it's getting there. They're all the major cities. But yeah, it's just, if you go live somewhere, I could go live out in the middle of nowhere and like buy a house probably, but there's nothing there.
Yeah. Would you
Like,
even? We wouldn't be able to have you in our game because your internet would be so shit. Right?
Nah, internet's pretty good.
Is it?
Around the country,
Even out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, like you got fiber pretty much everywhere. So
that's pretty good. It's not like that in the United States, at least not in the Midwest.
Well, that's because in the United States, what matters is how much money you're paying out.
Yeah.
Also, probably like New Zealand. Oh, New Zealand's about the same size as like the UK, excluding Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So like the main.
Yeah, the island.
Yeah. It's about the same size as that, but with like, I don't even know what the population in the UK is, but there's like 5 million people in New Zealand, and the amount of stuff that everyone has to get out to, like, they just run fiber down like the main lines, and everyone's got it pretty much. So like, there are places that don't have it, but like with my sister, she's down in Oamaru, which is near Dunedin. There's like nothing there. But she's got work down there, so that's why she's there. But like, I've got fiber and stuff at her flat, so and that's like a small little town of 30,000 or something, or maybe not even that.
It's not bad.
So, still get like the gigabit fiber.
Yeah.
We started to roll out the 4 gigabit fiber here, so but that's too much for that. You're paying like $300 a month or something for the 4 gigabit fiber, and for like 1 gigabit fiber, you're paying like $80 though.
That's insane. That's the cost of the small apartment you were talking about earlier. That's insane.
Yeah. Like, there's no reason to get it other than for like a business. You don't need that for home.
Right.
Like, it's overkill for a home. So
Okay, so we got a body slouching on the floor, falling out of the vent, right?
Yes, you do. And you've got a Billie slouching on the wall. It's fucking
Just doing some meditative breathing.
yeah. Coming down from the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, help me with this guy. Now, I'm imagining that I'm out of breath from all the running.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense. Johnny, you're probably fine because you're a, soldier. You did plenty of physical training. You could jog
Johnny
2 rooms down and be pretty good.
keeps himself in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry though, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, if you guys are both gonna go ahead and pull, you guys can either make 2 different rolls or just one of you roll with advantage. As this, when this person, thin as they are, crawled up the vent, they could do so pretty nimbly, but now that they're unconscious, pulling them back out is gonna be a bit more of an affair.
Yep.
Do you guys need my
yeah.
help?
We'll find out after the roll.
A 15 is more than enough, my man. You're able to either just you or the 2 of you grab the arm of this person and yoink them out.
Yoink.
It makes exactly that noise too.
Yoink. Yoink. Just a quick
Never heard that before.
quick thought because I'm dealing with a revolver here. I think I used 2 rounds in combat. Really quick before we take a look at the body, I'm just gonna reload those 2 rounds so I'm back up to 6.
Did you
Okay.
reload on the second session too?
Did I reload in the... Oh, fuck. No, you're right. I was down to 3 rounds, I guess. I didn't even think of that. Okay. Well, anyway, I reload from 3 rounds up to 6.
All right.
Yeah, because I fired one into the ceiling non-discriminately. That's funny. Maybe you're going to address this in just a second, Max. Sorry if I'm stepping on your toes, but I was going to say, is it possible to tell whether this is the same figure that I fired through the ceiling at when we take a look at its body?
You can go ahead and make me like an acumen check to see if the
Got it.
squeal when you shot them is the same as the squeal when you shot them, I guess. The squeal when you shot them in the hallway is the same as the squeal when you shot them just now.
Does it sound like the same? Does it sound like
Yeah.
the same?
Yeah.
Big as
Did they make the
before?
same noise, or was it like something else in the vent?
Yeah, I got
And with a 15, you can
15.
tell. Yeah, it's pretty likely this is the same person. It sounded almost exactly the same, just obviously closer.
Got it. Okay.
On the note of shooting, though, now that you've gotten them out of the vent, even though you only knocked them unconscious, Larry, they were shot once, and now that they're all the way out of the vent, you can see that this white lab coat they wear with like the arms, the sleeves torn off, is soaked through the back with blood now.
Oh boy. I'll flip the person over so that we can see the back.
Okay.
Do we need to stabilize this person, or are they just unconscious but otherwise, I mean, apart from a gunshot wound, would they be okay on their own, or do we need to...
I think it depends on where they were shot in the back.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be on you guys to tell. If any of you have like medical experience, you might be able to tell right away. Otherwise, I will ask
It ain't gonna
for a
be
roll.
the pilot that's gonna know that.
Yeah.
I'll
I've only
try
got
to-
like basic like first aid kind of knowledge.
Yeah, I would think it'd be Johnny
Patch
that's
people up.
for it. The guy that doesn't deal with blood. I'll roll up the coat so that we can take a look at the gunshot wound.
Okay. You pull up a coat and a dress shirt they wear underneath it. And you can see the hole. And whoever wants to examine it, go ahead and roll.
You know.
That run.
I imagine I'm still slouched against the wall, so...
Yeah, you're starting to come back to your senses. You've stopped like sweating. Your breath is regular again. You feel just about ready to like get back on your feet without toppling right over.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll come over and peek over Larry's shoulder at what he's dealing with.
Yeah, I'll
Alright.
take a look at this this wound.
Okay.
Use my
8.
caution.
All right. Yeah. And with an 8, it's hard to tell. They've bled a lot already, as you can tell by it, soaking through 2 layers of clothes, and it's really all over the back of this coat. But it doesn't look like it's bleeding that much now, and it seems like it passed clean through them. So you can see the hole in the back go straight through from the front. Hard to tell if it would have hit any organs that would put them in like immediate, life or death danger. But it didn't, stay in them and open up or anything. So it didn't really cut them on the inside that badly.
Larry looks to Johnny to see what he says the diagnosis is.
Yeah, well, he got shot. The bullet went through him.
This guy has been shot. Probably by a service revolver. Hard to tell.
Yes, with my introduction to medicine and doctorology, I can deduce this man has blood. Yeah, it seems like they're probably not gonna die in like, the next 30 minutes or something, but whether they will need, medical treatment.
Yeah. All I've got on me is some bandages, so bullets not in him, so we don't have to like get it out of him if we want to stabilize him. So
I mean, I think all that Billy's interested right now is information. I'm not sure if we think this is a person that we can talk to or what, but I'm thinking Billy's thinking like keep him alive so that we can ask them questions.
Interrogate them later.
Yeah. Is it possible to just like pull the lab coat off and kind of wad it up and use it as a to try to stop the blood flow?
Oh yeah, you definitely could.
Okay. That's what I think Billy's going to try to do right now. Assuming that this person is otherwise clothed, right? Like they're wearing regular clothes.
Yeah, like I said, they've got like a dress shirt underneath it. They've got pants. It's all very, dirty, torn at the ends. Like I said, the coat has had the sleeves torn off. But other than that, it is
Are they wearing shoes?
Why are you gonna steal them?
No, just curious. Like, I'm just imagining if this person's been on the space station for possibly as long as 3 months without.
Well, yes, they do have shoes because Max said that you saw sneakers tracks.
Oh, that's right.
That is true. I was going to say exactly the same. As you look down, they do have a sneaker on, like Reebok or New Balance type thing, but only one. The other foot is just a sock.
Okay. Can we tell if this person is male or female?
Yeah, they look pretty male. They have a beard.
Okay.
It is rough and shaggy and clearly unshaven in quite some time.
All right. We'll use some bandages and bandage them up, and use that lab coat as a.
They look pretty much like that, although more like a real person and less like a comic drawing.
Oh. Is that Ratman?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
but
I think I recognize
now it's
this.
unnamed dude in Rusted Orbit. As of yet, unnamed at least.
Okay. So assuming that Johnny's used the bandage and we've got the lab coat there to kind of stop up any other bleeding, Billy's going to try to motion to Johnny and Larry to help roll them back over onto their back. Just so we can get a look at their face and, I don't know, like slap him in the face and wake him up a little bit. See if he'll respond.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got nothing else. So.
Is anyone gonna try and like restrain him at all?
That's a great idea. I don't think that Billy thought of it though.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I think because he's been shot, I don't know how well he'd be at running away anyway.
Johnny, as an officer, would you have cuffs on you or anything, or zip ties or something?
No, I'm more kind of like a shoot to kill kind of.
You're more like a Los Angeles police officer.
Save a lot of money
Yeah.
by not handing out cuffs.
Yep. A bullet costs way less than those zip tie cuffs.
Might as well do something with the bullets.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I've
Look,
got a
there's
gun, I
limited
may as
metal
well
in
use
this
it.
world. Are we gonna waste it all
Right.
on cuffs?
Yeah, exactly right.
Or the real fucking deal?
Yeah. Those cuffs could be melted down and built into spaceships.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we'll melt it down and turn into bullets.
Oh, the symbolism there is frightening.
It is. I fear it may also be very prescient.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
I give it like 2 months
Yep.
before we hear
They're melting
that's
down
happening
handcuffs.
en masse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Larry will
Anyway.
Larry will stand up and he'll
Hmm.
position himself to be like behind the guy's head so that he can still be seen. Because I imagine I'm the last thing that he saw before he got knocked unconscious.
Yeah, probably. You, then wrench, then nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll make sure that me and Wrench are visible.
Oh,
Okay.
I like it.
So have fun slapping the guy awake, Billy.
Okay. Wait. I just had an idea. So, my 5 belongings, I've decided on a service pistol, a PDA, and last time I added binoculars. I think this time I'm
Yes.
gonna add, because I think this makes sense for a pilot to have, spending long hours in the cockpit, needing to be alert. I'm gonna add smelling salts.
Okay.
So I've got smelling
Cover
salts.
up a little bit of all the other smells.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm
No,
imagining.
that does
That's
make
how he
sense.
deals with the shit. That's
Yeah.
how he
Yeah.
deals with the shit.
Either, like, okay, so I guess, Max, what would be more genre appropriate for what we're playing here? Would it be like smelling salts, or
I
maybe
think
like an
smelling
injectable
salts are-
stim or something? Like,
I think probably both are around, but I do think the smelling salts are so different than from what you normally get in like a normal sci-fi setting that it's probably more popular now because I think that's pretty cool.
okay, all right, yeah. So I'm pulling the smelling salts out of my pocket, and assuming that this figure is positioned, the way that we want, and Larry and Johnny have positions that are. Larry, you said you were going to be up above his head with the wrench at the ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Assuming that we're all in place, I'm going to wave the smelling salts in front of his nose.
Okay. You do so, and after a few breaths in, person sitting here blinks, their eyes open a few times, and when they do so, they have a completely like standard blank expression on them. But then, before their eyes really even adjust and focus on any of you or anything in the room, they go wide-eyed and sort of sit up, and then they start to process what is around them. They see Larry there with this fucking wrench, and from this person's perspective on the ground, they look tall and built. I don't know if that is actually true of Larry, but from where they are, that's how it seems. And then 2 other guys who I don't know if you guys have your guns out or are visibly holstered on you.
Assuming that Johnny has his out, I've holstered mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have mine out, but not not pointed at him at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then, like I said, this person, when they're first blinking awake, they, look like a person who's just woken up, and then there's this like first brief, immediate like fear and confusion, and then when they recognize like, oh shit, right, I just got my ass beat and I'm now being woken up by these three people, it goes from like mild fear to panic. And they are going to try and like sort of scoot away from you, still sat down on their ass, unless you guys do something there.
The first thing Billy's gonna do is go stand in front of that vent opening on the wall, like prevent any escape.
Yeah, so this person sort of sits up, like I said, and they just go to scoot back on their ass. And so while they're doing that, you go directly in front of this vent to cut off one of their exits.
Mm-hmm.
And they follow you up until you stop moving in front of it, and then they look back to the other two and look around the room. This person is clearly, obviously, on edge because they are surrounded by these three dudes who just beat the shit out of him and shot at him. But even if you guys had met him in like completely friendly environment, you get the sense this person would still be really on edge, just like naturally.
I mean, does somebody want to try to talk to him?
Yeah.
I'll nod to the other two, and I'll start to crouch down to get more on his eye level.
All right.
I'd say, hey, I know that you're freaking out, and we had a bad start, but we have some questions we need from you.
As you lower yourself to get face to face with this person, they try to spin and turn around onto like their hands and knees and then stand up. And as they do so, you can see the arm on the side that they've been shot on just gives, and they slam back down onto their back and grunt in pain from that. But then when they turn back to you and you start talking to them, they just sort of let this light whimper out. They don't speak any like actual words in response, though.
Yeah. So Billy is just gonna say to him, look, I twisted your fucking arm. I shot you. You're not in a good state right now. We're helping you. Can you understand us?
I can hear you, but you're so goddamn muffled. And he puts his hands up and like gestures to you like he was pushing the air. I really, I can hear you, but only barely. Everything is so fucking. And he puts his hands to his temple and just starts talking under his breath to himself a little bit.
Can you tell us your name?
He is shaken out of whatever he was saying to himself, and he looks up at you. Where did you come from?
We came due to a distress call to save the planet that the station is about to crash into. Do you know your name?
He looks at you wide-eyed still, and then looks to Jonny, and then looks down at his own chest, and he pulls, or pardon, the jacket is already off of him, so he looks down to his dress shirt and pulls out of his pocket this little card, and he reads it, puts it back in. I'm Richard.
Richard, is that an ID badge you have?
He turns to you and visibly like jumps. Where the fuck did you just come from?
I've been right here, dude.
I'm sorry about my friend. He has a thing about cards.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was not in character. I didn't just crack up in character.
No, it's good.
I'm kind of no. I think Billy's still a little fucking pissed at this dude for clawing at my face and trying to gouge my eye out. So I'm just I guess Billy has very little patience for like traumatized human bullshit. Like he's just kind of like, okay, come on, we need information. We've been on this station now for like 4 hours. You tried to kill me. Talk, kind of thing.
Mm.
Tell me, Richard, why'd you try to attack my friend here?
I will ask for some kind of check from one of you guys, or honestly, if you want, I'll say let's have both of you, Pem and Tanom, make me a check, straight roll, as you're kind of doing this very light, like good cop, bad cop kind of thing to him.
Yeah, that wasn't really even my intent, but that's how it's working out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm using my communication. Oh, I got a 16.
Oh, I thought it was just a 2d10.
Oh, sorry. Should I not have used a modifier? If so, then a 15.
Oh, pardon. No, when I say straight roll, I mean like, yeah, 2d10 plus modifier,
Oh,
Okay.
as opposed to like advantage or disadvantage. My bad if that was confusing.
I'm using my communication.
Okay,
13.
yeah, both pretty good rolls. You guys are able to get through to him. And so, sorry, Tanom, what did you just say? You asked him why he attacked Billy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, he looks at you and then he turns. Do you gesture to Billy? Because he doesn't know which person is Billy.
I used my free hand to point out to Billy so that
Okay.
I don't freak him out with the wrench.
Yeah. fair play. So yeah, as you do that, he turns from you to Billy, and he's like, he takes this very deep breath in, and then says, Everything on the ship is doing everything. I'm sorry."
And what do you mean by everything?
Nothing works. It does everything. And he starts, shaking his hands back and forth again. Everything does the wrong thing.
Billy is going to get a little bit... is going to approach him. Like, so where I am in front of the vent, I'm going to say, like, halfway between where I am and where Richard is, I'm going to close that distance, keeping the vent behind me the entire time. But I'm going to ask him, have you been following us?
He does like a single, very small scoot away from you as you approach. Huh? What? I'm sorry, you need to speak up. I can barely hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna inch closer to him, trying to get like within the cone of hearability, audibility.
Okay.
And I'm gonna repeat the question. We've been on the ring since we got off the ferry. Have you been following us?
He looks at you for a couple seconds and sort of thinks of his response. And then he looks to your lantern still on the ground. No. I was just following the floating light. And he points to it.
Why were you in the ceiling?
He just kind of looks at you puzzled.
You think this is the guy that was in the ceiling?
I think this was the guy that was in the ceiling. You guys may not have seen it because you ran in here, but the reason I came into this room in the first place is because when I was covering the door, there was a loud clanging sound out in the hallway. I went out in the hallway to check it out. There was a grate on the floor, and the vent in the ceiling was open. I'm pretty sure this dude jumped out of the vent in the ceiling, ran down the hallway into this room, and was trying to get out of this room through the vent in the wall when I caught his arm. Or rather, when he caught me with his arm, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened, and I don't know why he is being all fucking weird, but he's the only person who's going to be able to give us any answers that we've met so far. I think at this point, Billy's just kind of frustrated. He just gets up and kind of walks away, not like out of the room or anything, but just he grabs his lantern and just kind of walks off further into the room by himself, just kind of mumbling under his breath.
Okay.
Richard, you said that everything is doing everything. Do you remember how it started?
He looks at you, equally puzzled as he looked at Billie, and I'm gonna say he's gonna make a roll for this to see if he does, because he's very clearly flustered and confused at the moment. He thinks for a few more seconds and then sort of just shakes his head at nothing. All the lights were just turning off.
All right. And where have you been staying all this time?
He sort of waves out to the door to the corridor. Here?
And do you know where here is?
He shrugged.
Are there others with you?
He almost jumps again when you say that. No. Nobody else. It was way worse with other people.
Have you seen anyone else here other than us recently?
Nobody with skin. Lots of metal.
What the fuck does that mean? Lots of metal. Billie calls out from the darkness on the other side of the room.
He's probably talking about the robots.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, when's the last time you've been to the
He nods and
cafeteria?
says- He disregards that. But when you say the robots, he nods and says, yes, the assistants.
Out of character, I'm like, I was thinking about having him lead us to wherever he was staying, but it seems like he's just been staying here.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems at this point like he's not going to be very helpful unless we can ask him the right kind of question. But I sure as fuck don't want to leave him to his own devices down here. Like, I don't want to leave him alone. The fuck if what if he comes up behind me and clocks me over the head or something?
Yeah.
That. In character, I say, so, what do you guys want to do? I mean, can you just leave him or take him with us?
I think Billie asks, he starts walking back over to where Richard and Jonny and Larry are, and just asks Richard very loudly, do you want our help?
Once again, he takes a pretty decent amount of time to think about this. And he says yes. Yeah. Very hesitantly sounding, but he does say yes.
With that yes, I stand up and I offer my hand to help him up.
He scoots himself back against the wall and uses that to help himself up.
I take my hand and I sweep my hair back, and I'm like, okay, then. Cool. And I walk out to the door.
Okay.
I don't know what Johnny's doing right now, but Billie is not going to move until Richard indicates that he's like coming with us, like that he either starts walking toward the door following Larry or something.
Yeah, I was gonna keep my eye on Richard, make sure he's yeah, gonna be all right, and also not, you know, try and claw people's eyes out again.
Is his mobility impeded at all, given that he was shot and had his arm almost twisted off?
Yeah, it was a pretty good struggle for him to stand up. He was, like grunting again. Doesn't seem like he's bleeding anymore.
Hey,
It's definitely super sore.
Billie is saying to Jonny and Larry, we know that this guy was following us at least briefly, right? When we were walking through the corridor and I shot at the ceiling.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take him back to the ferry room where that terminal was that showed us our path through the whole station and ask him what the fuck that's about? Was he the one tracking us? Is the station tracking us? Like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's probably
Or
not a bad idea.
Or do we just take him to the room we were in? You guys were in checking out the tubes, and I don't know.
Would he?
Well, I would suggest. Does the room look like it's been lived in? That he just ran in here because that's where he's most comfortable?
The one you're in right now, no. It looks like, other than you guys right now, no one's been in this for quite some time.
Hey, wait, you know what? I just remembered something. I have 2 badges on me right now. I have Donna McCally's badge that we picked up in that one of the first offices that we stopped in. She's got a yellow marker on her badge, and I've got a badge for somebody named Edmund. That was the dead body that was in the ferry when we came across, and his badge had a blue marker on it. I think I pull those both out of my pockets and show them to Larry and Jonny, and assuming that they understand what I'm saying, I want to show those to Richard and ask him if he knows either of these people.
Yeah. Do we want to check Richard's badge too to see what color he's got? Because if he's got a different color, what were the colors? There was yellow, blue, red, and green. So if he's got a red or a green one, then we're getting there. We've almost got all the badges.
Yeah.
Once you collect them all, you guys
Right.
become the Pokemon League champion.
Yeah.
Don't need the guy anymore once we got the card.
Just throw him at an airlock. Take that, Ratman.
Yeah.
Thanks for your collectible, dude. Peace. I'm getting the 100% completion achievement, and I don't need you for it.
This is the cutthroat world of Pokemon. Yeah, so I guess I take the 2 badges out, I show them to him, and I say, do you have a badge like this? And do you know who these people are? Do you know them?
He nods and pulls his own badge from the front pocket that he's got on his shirt. And he shows it to you, and it's the same, style, but his has the green box lifted up, and it has the green bar going along the top of it, and it's got his name and a picture of what looks like him, some time ago. Clean shaven, nicer haircut. And he squints and leans in real close to look at the 2 cards you show him. I don't know him, but she was a suit and he was a gun.
Blue is security, then?
Oh, yeah.
What were you, Richard? You got a
I was
green
a
badge.
scientist.
Alright, green science.
Alright, Harry. And he said he's stepping away for a couple seconds.
Oh, okay.
Just letting you guys know.
Yeah. Well, given that he's got a green badge and he's signed, I mean, we'll wait for Harry to get back to confirm what we want to do next. But my thought is, let's not take him back to the ferry room. Let's take him straight to the room with the columns in it, and see if he can tell us what the fuck is going on in there.
Well, I was gonna ask him if he could take us where he's been sleeping, and see if there's a first aid kit there or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. What if where he's been sleeping has been in the vents somewhere, though? Like, I don't want to have to follow him through the vents and trust that he's not going to get away from us and do something. He's going to know the vents better than we are, obviously.
Mm. Well, the question is, do we try to fix him up so that he doesn't die in 30 minutes, or just let him be until he dies and be useful for that long?
Did the emergency stations that we encountered earlier, Max, have any kind of first aid equipment?
I don't think you guys really looked in if it
No.
had even like any sort of compartment. You just looked at the terminals.
Yeah.
So it's possible if you want to go all the way back there.
I don't really
You haven't
wanna...
seen any other emergency stations like that since then.
Yeah.
Certainly possible there are more on the ship.
I would have to think. I mean, it would be kind of weird if you didn't have an emergency station out here on the
Just
ring.
one in this one intersection.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Got to take the ferry
If
back.
you're
to get
anywhere
to
else, sorry, get owned.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Harry. So we were talking about what we want to do next with Richard here. Given
Yeah.
that he's got a science badge on, I was saying maybe it makes more sense to just skip the ferry room and ask him about the terminal, and rather take him back to the room that you guys were in with the columns.
Yeah, that might make. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mike was saying Mike was suggesting asking where it was that he slept and try to go back there and find out if there was like a first aid kit or something so that we could patch him up better.
Yeah. I think maybe trying to get them patched up first, because their science room isn't going anywhere, but his life might be.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd say. Yeah,
Well,
go back and see
yeah.
if he's got first aid stuff, or
I think Billie recognizes that so far Larry's had the most success talking to this guy, so Billie just kind of elbows Larry in the ribs like, okay, you're the dude that he's willing to talk to, so...
Richard, were you staying in one of these rooms to sleep?
We've stayed in one or two of them.
Can you take us into the last one that you slept in?
The last one here, or the last one, like, most recent?
Where else have you been staying?
I try not to stay in the same place twice. It's really bad to stick around.
why? Why is it bad to stay in one place?
Well, early on, people, but now it's mostly just the assistants. Or the rooms. Sometimes there's something really wrong in the rooms.
Like, your ears feel funny and stuff when you go into the rooms?
He gives you this half smile and then shakes his head no.
How long ago was the most recent one that you slept in?
He just kind of shrugs. The last time I slept, I don't have a timepiece.
Never mind, I'm not gonna do that.
So that's okay, because our engineer's timepiece is 10 minutes slow.
Yeah,
Better
take
to
us
have no timepiece than have an inaccurate one.
Yeah.
take us to the last place you slept.
Okay, it's almost halfway around the ring. A lot quicker, and he kicks the vent hole.
Nope! Billie pulls the service revolver out really fast and points it right at him.
Whoa!
He puts his
whoa.
hands up and goes bug-eyed, but he doesn't move.
Don't step into that vent.
It's okay, Billy. I'm sure he's not gonna do that. Richard,
I
it's
was
okay.
just saying it's
okay.
faster. It'll take us some time to walk there normally.
Okay.
It's a lot of round and round and round and round to walk.
Well, how about this? Billy, put away the gun.
All right.
Richard, we'll walk there through the ring. But first, since it's a good ways off, let's go ahead and stop over at the other room with the test tubes. and see if you can help us figure out what's going on in there.
Hey, Max, out of character, are the vents? I guess we could ask Richard this, but are the vents like crawl through vents? Are they walkable? Can people walk abreast in them? Like,
While you were wrestling with Richard here at the entrance to this one, it seems like it's definitely possible for someone to squeeze in there, but it was way easier because of how thin Richard is right now.
okay, yeah, yeah. I think Billy's putting away his service revolver, but he's saying like, I do not trust this dude going through a vent by himself.
Okay.
Harry had to go away again.
Yeah.
So I assume
Yep.
we're fine with just going to the science room first, and then assuming nothing happens, then we go to his resting spot.
Yeah, unless Richard's gonna bleed out or something before we can get there.
Mm-hmm. So let's just go ahead and start walking back to the computer room with the test tubes or the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Billy, are you still gonna wait for Richard to walk before you step away?
Oh
or-
yeah, Billy's not going anywhere unless Richard's in front of him.
Okay. Richard just sort of stands against the wall for a little bit, not really looking at any of you, just sort of scanning the room. He goes ceiling to floor first, and then sort of just looks back and forth from like the opposite corner from where he is to the corner to the left of where he is. Just sort of looks back and forth. And then he realizes you guys are walking away, and then he makes for the door.
Okay, so we're heading back toward the corridor then? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're heading back towards the science room.
Toward the science room.
All right, yeah, you guys make it to the science room without any problems or interruptions. Billy, with you behind him, Richard does not try anything. Keep an eye on him. He looks around a lot, but he not like he's eyeing where to run, just like
Just hyper aware.
almost like he's curious. Yeah, so somewhere between that and curiosity. Just sort of looks around, and then when you get to the room, he steps in after you, Larry. This isn't where I last stayed.
Yeah. Like I said, we wanted to check out this room real quick before we go to where you slept, and we wanted to see if you could help us understand what's in those tubes over there.
Oh, okay. You need to speak up. And he presses both his hands to his ears and rubs them a little bit. Sound doesn't work very well in the station.
Okay, I don't feel like blowing your own eardrums, so let's just say that I raise my voice higher
Okay, yeah.
and I say we're trying to figure out what's in those tubes back there, and I don't really understand what the computer is telling me is going on with tests. Do you happen to know what tests were being performed?
He walks up to the computer and looks at the screen for a little bit, and then he looks down towards the tubes. Uh, um, no. Those tubes weren't here the last time I was here. And I was an acoustician. I don't know what all these numbers mean, but for the last couple of weeks, this room has been giving us people. So, probably that.
You're saying people
Room?
come out of these?
Mm.
Oh, Harry, really quick. We've walked back with Richard to the science room with the tubes and everything.
Yeah.
Larry is trying to coax Richard into explaining what's going on in here. I think Billy is probably still hanging out by the door, but he's got an eye on Richard the entire time.
Yeah. I'd gathered that. So like they're making test tube people. Ugh.
Now, how often do the people come out of this room, Richard?
I haven't seen recently, but early on, I saw some people take other people here, like once a week or so. Then they'd all get in a big fight, and then well, not all of them, some of them though. Despite his requests, by the way, for you guys all to speak up, he does mumble a lot. So if I'm mumbling too much in character, let me know.
No, you're good.
And I will try and speak up myself. Okay.
Well,
Billy's,
it doesn't.
yeah, I was gonna say Billy's still over by the door, so I'm letting you guys take the lead on the questions here.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like Richard actually knows what tests go on here.
Yeah.
Just that people really didn't like what was going on in here.
Do you guys want to try to open that second tube?
Not really.
I mean, might as well see if we can find
Yeah.
something out. Richard, what? No, I'm not Richard. Jonny, why don't you take Richard and back up a little, and
Alright.
keep an eye on the test tube while I open it.
Yep. Will do.
All right.
And
You're going down to the, yeah?
yeah, to the
Okay.
number 1.
Yep.
And I open number 1.
Okay. Having already done so once, you finish clearing away all the like tables and graphs and everything to get to the full view of it. And this one you actually have a second option instead of just open in the like top right box, which has an arrow pointing to like just the very top of the tube. It says check profile.
I check profile.
Okay. You press it, and it brings up another set of tables and graphs, only taking up like half the screen, and they seem to be tracking something like in motion. Like there's the only thing you can really clearly identify is like a heart rate monitor, and then
Oh,
there's
shit.
more just, normal tables and graphs and stuff. And on the left side of the screen, there's just a whole long ass list of like random traits, right? Like there's one that says vitiligo, and there's 2 boxes, one for yes, one for no, and no is checked. It lists general height and weight and stuff like that. And then
And
a whole bunch of other things that like you are unfamiliar with.
the test tube, it's like floor to ceiling, right?
Yes, it is.
And when the other one opened, how much of it opened?
Everything except like 5-6 inch base on both the top and the bottom.
Oof. Okay. And the tracking, is it regular pulses?
Yes, it is. It seems
Okay.
slow. I don't know if you, even though you haven't like, you don't know all the stuff going on there. I assume you've been like in or around a hospital before, so you've seen this sort of stuff before. You probably had to do some kind of checkup before you are put on a spaceship. So even though you don't know how to like operate it, you have seen other people's resting heart rates before, and this seems very slow.
Right. Okay. I take the information and I turn my head and I let the others know. There's something alive in here.
In the tube? I call over
In-
from the door.
In the tube, there's something alive.
Do you know anything? Might be Richard.
Yeah. Probably someone I haven't met yet.
Someone dangerous?
when when Billy says that, I look at him and then I look at the bloody wall.
Point taken.
So,
No more
we
dangerous
really
than
wanna-
you or I.
do we really want to open this?
I don't know.
Yeah, open it.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a roll since I'm the middleman.
Okay. While you are pondering for yourself whether you're going to open this, Richard does yell over to you guys.
That's a
If
yes.
it's not opening, okay. If it's not opening on its own, it's probably not ready yet.
Not ready yet.
Oh.
Does the computer say
Oh.
when it'll be ready? I'm trying. Sorry if I'm shouting, but I'm trying to pretend like I'm over at the door, like calling out to you guys from where I am.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes?
The most frequent I saw people coming in here was once every week, but that was only for, I think, 3 weeks. Like I said early on.
Hmm. Well, the last one did say that there was an error and that the subject wasn't ready. So, whatever we do, if we do open it, whatever's in there might not survive the process if we do it early.
Yeah. Maybe.
So, as
Yeah.
long as we're all aware of that, then I'm gonna open this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we're gonna stick around and how long it's gonna take. So it's pretty much either we open it or we don't.
Billy cares way more about finding out what's in there than whether or not it survives whatever crazy scientific process it's undergoing.
All right, I'll prepare my wrench and I'll use my other hand to open
The hammer of God, we'll call it.
hammer of the god. I got Thor's hammer and it's ready.
Mhm.
All right, you to go back from the page of traits and statistics that you're staring at into the overview of the tube. You press the button that says open, and exactly like the last, the 2 metal doors on it open up so you can see the glass, viewing tank underneath it. And again, there is this sort of still greenish liquid, although less green yellow like the last one, and more this green, much darker, cloudier brown. And it too begins to drain. And as it does so, you get a flash from your screen out of the corner of your eye, Larry, as you're looking at this tube.
And I guess any common sense, I look away from the test tube and I look at the screen.
Okay. Similarly to the screen you saw the last time you opened one, this says error CWLNC. Repeat profile, dash, new tissue sample required from Larry Fliamson. Try new sample on another box.
Oh, wait.
Oh shit.
It's got you. Okay, I mean, Billy doesn't know this because Billy's over at the door, but it's got your fucking name on it, dude.
Oh my god.
Johnny, you see the last little bit of this dark liquid flush from the tank and reveals sitting at the bottom of it a heart. And a
Just
very
just
single
a heart.
long, yeah, and like one long aorta coming from the top of it that's sort of wrapped around the bottom and is half pulled down whatever sort of drain there is.
Oh,
I-
ugh, gross.
I don't even look at it. I'm too horrified at what I see on the screen.
What is Richard doing while Johnny is staring at the heart. Larry is distracted by the computer screen. What is Richard doing right now? Because I think that's what Billy's paying attention to.
I think he's still down by your end of the room
Okay.
at those initial cluster of computers, with it just sort of sitting on those desks facing you.
He's facing me. Okay.
Yeah, he's got like, his arm, one of them holding his wound, and the other one's just sort of there.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to know where he was. So whatever you guys want to do next, I'm still covering the door.
All right.
Johnny,
well,
as you're standing there watching, the glass tank slides up again like the previous tube did. And for a second, along with the, sort of mechanical sliding sound you think you hear a single heartbeat. But then it's just the sound of the glass sliding again.
ooh, once that whole process is done, I finally tear my eyes away from the screen and see what's in the tube, and I just
You
get
see-
more horrified.
Yeah, you see the inner cylindrical wall full of this dark greenish liquid, and again at the bottom of it, this now slowly sort of deflating heart.
Was it the same error message on this one,
It
Larry,
wasn't.
as it was on the other one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a different one.
It was a different one, yes.
Um, I need to get out of here, and I just walk out of the room.
All right.
Back into the corridor?
Back into the corridor.
I'm gonna take a look at the computer, see what's going on.
By the time you look back, it seems like it is reset back to the overview of the tank, and now the only option is close.
Alright. Well, there's nothing else in here. Yeah, I'll head out too. Kind of freaked out by that heart. Don't really want to look at that. Kind of gross.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet.
At the moment, Larry's just on the other side from the room in the corridor, just one hand against the wall, just breathing.
I want Billy to ask Larry what the fuck is going on.
I don't know what's going on. It was building me in there.
Wait,
What?
how do you know it was building you in there?
Because it said that it needed another tissue sample from me, Larry.
Sorry, it's just funny to imagine you say, me, Larry! That's funny.
I'm just gonna say that he's freaked out enough to just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so Larry is back out in the corridor. Johnny, where's Johnny right now? I'm sorry.
I looked at the computer. There's nothing on it. Like, just see close. So I'm like, oh, man. I'm just thinking that Larry got freaked out by that heart. I'm like,
Yeah,
alright,
right.
go out and see what's going on.
Okay, so Yeah, I guess Billie is asking Larry, like, explain what you mean by, like, it said your name on the terminal.
Yeah, it said that it needed another teacher sample from Larry.
There's lots of
You say
Larrys. though.
Larry? Yeah, like it's not an uncommon name.
Man, don't joke with me after all that we've seen so far.
Did it say your last name? Did it say your last name?
I don't think it said my last name.
I thought Max said it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Oh, then, yeah.
In which case,
Yeah.
that's reason to shit your pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It said Larry Fliamson.
Okay. At that knowledge, or that information, Billy turns around from talking to Larry and Jonny. He walks over to where Richard is sitting. He grabs the model spaceship of our ship, picks it up, he carries it and holds it right in front of Richard's face and says, "Have you seen this before?"
No.
All right.
Sort of runs a finger across it from front to back, right in the middle. Seen a lot like it, though.
Seen a lot like what?
He shrugs.
Like the model?
Out of character, it sounds like he's seen other ships of a similar model.
Models of other ships, you're saying?
Yeah. Like
So maybe other people have come here as well.
Okay. So, in frustration and in anger, Billy turns to the nearest wall and throws the model as hard as he can up against the wall.
Okay. You guys hear the first hit of the model against the wall, and then the sound of all these little plastic bits breaking off and dropping to the floor.
And now Billy walks over to the remnants of the model sitting on the floor and sifts through it looking for anything that is out of the like beyond what you would expect as parts of a model that might be as in the refuse here.
The only thing that seemed to be on the interior of it was this little, like a porthole on the side of the ship, and the, base of the model, what would be the floor of the interior, has these 3 little nondescript figures in front of it.
Human figures?
Yeah.
And
There's not really any detail given to them other than 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head.
Yeah, they are separate from the pieces of the model. Like I could pick them up and put them in my pocket, for example.
Yes, but they are like glued to the floor.
Okay, has a small enough section of the floor broken off with the 3 of them glued to it that I could like pick it up and carry it with me, like unobtrusively.
Yeah, like almost perfectly, like
just
the
those 3
porthole of the thing, and this little square off of it just enough to hold those 3.
Okay,
Snapped on.
I want to take that piece with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just picking it up and I'm showing Larry and Jonny what I've got in my hand, like showing them, like I'm not saying anything to them, but the look on my face is like, can you fucking believe this, as I show them what I've got in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
You show that to my face, and I'm pointing my finger at the heart inside the room.
yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. This is something intense is going on here, man. I think we need to get a move on, like find what's going on. Yeah, sooner than later.
I agree. Let's just get away from this stupid room and
Okay,
Yeah.
try to patch up Richard.
here's my vote. We patch up Richard and then we give him some tea or something and let him settle himself down, and then we make him march us to whatever the fuck the brain of this station is, or
Yeah.
whatever he thinks is the brain of the station.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go back to where he was staying. Try and get him, sorted out. Give him some food, water.
Okay. So Billie walks up to Richard and says, Richard, we're going where you stayed last. Do you know the way?
Yeah, thereabouts.
All right. Take us there.
Okay.
I'm not trying to tell you how to DM or anything, but considering what time it is, this might be a good stopping point, Max.
I agree. However, as you guys begin to follow Richard down the corridor, and he turns to you as he's walking and says, both rings are basically just one big loop with smaller loops around it. So, if we go, and he points in front of him, this direction long enough, we'll get there. And almost right when he stops talking, you guys all hear this very mechanical noise coming from behind you. You hear, like, and then clang, clang, and it repeats 3 or 4 more times, and then we will leave it there.
Oh, wait.
Fucking hell! Oh
Can
my
we?
no.
What is?
God!
We will have to wait to find out what it is. What Richard's response is to this sound, assuming that he hears it.
What anyone's response was.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Oh.
Thanks,
man.
Mike. I'm blaming this. I'm blaming that
I
cliffhanger on Mike.
I was going to call it there anyways.
Okay.
That is a good place to end it.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Well done,
Oh,
Max.
Thank you.
Wow. I still got fucking goosebumps, man. What the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, this is very well done. You're dishing out information in small doses at not frustrating spans of time, and you're upping the mystery each time too, which is nice. You're not the pacing is fantastic, I guess is what I'm saying.
Wonderful. I'm glad I've kept you guys gripped so tightly.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. All right. Well, unless there are any closing remarks, we'll try this again in 2 Saturdays, right? And Mike will be all ready for us with a recap.
Yeah.
So red.
And we'll pick up here in the corridor with the weird mechanical sounds coming from behind us, and Richard trying to lead us to his last point of stay.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there are any other notes I need to write down just to remember for next time. But I can't think of anything. Everybody keep track of their failed saves if you had any.
One
Yep.
here.
Okay. All right.
Oh, thanks, Max. This has been
Yeah,
really fun.
thanks, Max. Thanks, Harry, for making time. Appreciate you sticking through it
Yeah.
despite being tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike, for doing all the logistics and making sure everybody was able to do it.
Yup.
I feel weird. I feel like of the 4 of us, I'm the one putting in the least effort here, which is it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, you get a little bit of break.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's great. Yeah.
Thank you guys, as always, for indulging me and letting me run this. I appreciate
No,
it.
this is
a
so much
lot.
fun. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were our first DM, and I'm glad your game was our first game too. This is a blast.
Yeah.
Dope.
All right, I will
Everyone
talk to you
else
guys
gotta
all.
live up to this now.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were up against Prey, and now everybody's up against Max.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, I will talk to you guys next Saturday then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There we
Okay.
two Saturdays or Sundays. Or whatever
Sundays.
day.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, 2. You're right. 2. Okay.
Sunday
2
for me.
weeks
2
from
weeks
this
from
moment.
now.
Yes. All right. Later, everybody.
All right.
Later.
Peace.